Over 14,000 games were released in 2023, and that was just on Steam on PC. So when you add all the other platforms into the mix, that's an impossible amount of games to play. Because of that, a few hidden gems likely slip through the cracks, and in this video, I want to shine a light on them. Hi, I'm Ellie, and welcome to the Cozy Gaming Club, where today we're going to be talking about 12 cozy games that I don't think were talked about enough last year. I think all of these games deserve a little bit more love, and they all have a 90% or higher rating on Steam, so everyone who has played them has really enjoyed them. Let's get started with one of my favourite games, if not my favourite game from 2023, which is Pixel Cafe. In this pixel art restaurant management game, you play as a girl called Pixel, who was just trying to find a place in this world to do what she loves most: cook. Step into her shoes as she moves from restaurant to restaurant, followed by the aroma of fresh coffee. There's a range of locations to discover, from a food truck to a late-night bar, and you'll need to familiarize yourself with each new counter, so that Pixel can keep serving up the food and drinks that her clientele loves. Each food spot also brings with it new challenges to deal with, from strange customers like zombies to faulty wiring and power outages. I love how this game adds new things to each restaurant to keep it interesting, but still doesn't overload you with a ton of new mechanics at once. There are also different difficulty levels, so if you're finding it a little too hard, you can turn it down. I'm playing it on normal difficulty at the moment, and I'm not really having any issues at all with the difficulty, although I have had a few close calls on the night levels. There is a story to the game as well about Pixel's grandparents that explores how they shaped her life, but I find this part of the game a little weaker than the Café Management sections. Either way, I still love it, and I definitely recommend checking it out if you're looking for a new cooking management game. I've played 11 hours of Pixel Cafe so far, entirely on my Steam Deck, and to be honest, I haven't picked up another game since I started it. I am so addicted. From the makers of Lonesome Village comes A Tiny Sticker Tale, which is an adorable puzzle game with a really unique mechanic. Grab your sticker book because you can pick up anyone or anything and turn them into a sticker to take with you wherever you want to go. This is such a fun and creative idea, and honestly, I had such a great time just trying to pick up literally everything in this game. All the characters are so cute, and I love that there's a dog and a cat as well. The music and sound effects are great, and it's just an all-around nice game. The only thing is that A Tiny Sticker Tale is, well, tiny. I managed to complete the main story in less than 2 hours, and finished off the other collectibles in about an hour or so, apart from the one locked behind a second playthrough. While this may be a con for some players, in a time when so many games feel bloated to increase their playtime, I really enjoyed this small cozy adventure that didn't overstay its welcome. Everyone loves games about dogs, and this dog has one big problem: his stick. In Stick to the Plan, you play as a cute little dog called Roberto, who has found his new favourite stick. The only issue is that his stick is really long, so he's going to need your help to carefully navigate all the obstacles and find his way home. I love how simple the idea for this gameplay is, and I had so much fun trying to figure out all the puzzles in the demo. I will say that it does get quite difficult, but I like that it's not just cute with no substance. There's also a moving story to discover behind the gameplay, and if that doesn't convince you, it's currently sitting at a 98% positive rating on Steam. A lot of these games are short and sweet, and maybe that says something about how we as players prefer to consume games. But I love a short game if it's done well, and Refresh is one of those games. At only £4.29 and with a 99% positive rating, Refresh crept under so many radars when it dropped in April last year. This cozy game begins with a disaster when a terrible storm creates havoc for your community. You play as a little robot who decides to come to the rescue by helping to restore the town as best you can. It is essentially one long find and fetch quest, where you collect objects that can be used to rebuild houses or repower generators. But the art style is really sweet, the characters are quite funny, and I really love this little heartwarming adventure. There are also lots of collectibles if you love that sort of thing like me. Next up is another pixel art game about a cute little chicken who is trying to solve one of life's biggest questions: What comes first, the chicken or the egg? The art in this game is actually impeccable. The puzzles are so fun to complete, and there are loads of cute little characters for you to meet on your adventure. One of my favourites was a sewer monster called Cthulhu, and that is a great indication of how funny and punny this game really is. While this game is mostly platforming, I didn't find the platforming elements too hard. On a whole, it was mostly puzzle solving to work out how to get around. I actually still need to go back and finish this one, but it's currently sitting at a 99% positive rating on Steam, so it sounds like it's got a lot of great content in store for us. I recently started playing this next one with Vicky from The Girl at Games, and it is one of the only co-op games on this list. In Rivertales Stronger Together, you play as a curious cat called Furple and a sassy fish called Finn, who make quite an unusual pair. The two of them decide to work together to try to reach the icy mountain and save Furple's family from danger. But there's a network of rivers between here and there, so you've got a lot of distance to cover. The gameplay is really collaborative, with you both needing to work together to continue, whether that's raising platforms or scaring away piranhas. And when Vicky and I played, the time passed so quickly because we were enjoying it too much. We've only reached the end of the second chapter though, so we're excited to play some more and see what happens in the story. As always, if you enjoy collectibles, there's some of those as well in the form of funny birds that you can collect on your adventure. This next game was only just released at the end of 2023, and that's likely the only reason it falls under my 200 review threshold. But it still fits my criteria, and I think it deserves more love, so let's talk about A Highland Song. In this Scottish adventure, you play as Moira McKinnon, a young girl who is running away from home to visit her uncle who lives in a lighthouse on the coast. If you reach it in time, you'll be able to experience the wonders of Beltane, a Scottish tradition, and if not, you'll still get to see the sea for the very first time. A Highland Song is packed full of content, from the uplifting Scottish music to the mysterious folklore and the beautiful artwork that captures the essence of the Highlands. Playing this game was really an experience, and I'm trying to locate the secret passages to help speed up my journey. There are a few survival elements to deal with, like the wind and the cold, but if you want an easier experience to explore fully, there are so many accessibility settings to play around with. There are also so many different routes and passages, and I know that when I watched Glitch play it, they took an entirely different route to the one I did. So far, I have played every game that I've spoken about on this list, but these next 5 games are all games that even I haven't had the opportunity to try yet. But they all still stick to the same threshold of less than 200 reviews and over a 90% positive rating, so maybe we can discover a new game together. Do you love writing? In this next cozy game, your job is to write letters for other people who aren't able to do it themselves. They will send you a request with a sender and a recipient, asking you to transform their sentiments into words on a page. This can be anything from a casual letter to a pen pal to a full-on love letter to a lost amour. There's even mentions of theatre scripts and thank you letters, so you'll be writing a variety of different things. There are some content warnings for a few topics in this game, so make sure to check those out before playing, but I love the sound of this, and it's currently got a 97% rating and it's free to play, so I'm definitely going to be trying it out. When I was younger, Nintendogs was one of the first games I ever played, and Little Friends Puppet Island looks like a new fun version of it. In this awesome adventure, you get to build your own holiday resort for cute little puppies. You'll need to look after them while they stay with you, which involves walking them, feeding them, playing them, and bathing them. There are also accessories to dress them up with, and it just sounds like an all-around wholesome experience. As you begin to explore the island with your pup, you can come across a new dog to save and bring them back to your sanctuary. So in a way, this game is more of a dog rescue game than a holiday game, which makes it even better in my opinion. I wasn't sure what to expect when I first saw this game release, but it's currently sitting at a 100% positive rating on Steam, so everyone who has played it has really enjoyed it. This next game actually just released on Switch today, and this game is called Frog Song. In it, you play as a cute little frog who wants to become a fierce warrior. But when they aren't allowed to do that in their hometown, they decide to set out to find somewhere they can. Frog Song follows Chorus on their quest, where they soon realize that fighting isn't as easy as they think, and the world is full of forces that threaten their loved ones. While this game does sound a little combat heavy, the trailer shows a lot of fun interactions with other critters, and it promises a heartfelt story about self-love and identity. This next game is like coffee talk, but with tea. In a tavern for tea, you play as the owner of a tea shop, which is frequented by fantasy creatures, each with their own tales to tell. It's a relatively short visual novel and tea brewing simulator that encourages you to listen to your customers and brew the tea that they didn't know they needed. At only £2.49, it's incredibly cheap, and 98% of the reviews are positive. This last one may be on the borderline of a cozy experience, but I can't really establish that without playing it. What I do know though is that it's an incredible narrative game that has been mentioned at many award shows, and it has a 100% positive rating on Steam, which is nearly impossible. In Saltsea Chronicles, you guide a crew of sailors who are trying to recover their stolen ship and save their kidnapped captain. There's a whole archipelago for them to be hidden in though, and you don't know which island they'll be on. So it's time to get exploring and discover the different communities that live here along the way. This game promises a number of twists and turns, and maybe even a conspiracy at the heart of the main plot. Was your captain kidnapped, or did she run away of her own free will? It sounds really intriguing, and there's a branching narrative for us to discover. But it does seem from the reviews that this game is very narrative heavy, so if that is not something you enjoy in a game, then maybe give this one a miss. Those are the 12 cozy games that I think may have slipped under the radar in 2023. But I'd love to hear what's on your list. Do you know of some cozy hidden gems that you think I may have missed? Let me know in the comments below because I'd love to check them out. And if you want to keep up to date with all the new cozy releases, then I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel because I'll be covering them all right here. I hope you have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you next video. Bye!